Hey guys, Battery here. Want to showcase my Lightning Storm Druid build that I've been using ever since level 50. If you are looking for a build that just absolutely melts things off your screen, has a ton of AoE damage, bunch of crit damage, and overall is just a blast to play with, then this is the build for you. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the skills that I use, the gear that I'm rocking with as far as the aspects that you need to look out for, and all the stats that you should prioritize in your build. Alright guys, I want to show you the abilities that I have here for my Storm Druid. We'll come up to the top. We have 1 point in Earth Spike, 1 point in Enhanced Earth Spike. We have 5 points in Landslide because once again, this is a big part of our damage using Trample, casting the landslides, and then having the landslides cast again. 1 point in Heart of the Wild, 3 points in Wild Impulse. We have 5 points in Lightning Storm, Enhanced Lightning Storm, and Primal Lightning Storm. We have 1 point in Predatory Instinct, then we have 3 points in here. 1 point in Earthen Bulwark, Enhanced Earthen Bulwark, and Preserving Earthen Bulwark. Now this is really important because this does two things. It gives us a nice big ol' shield as Fortify, and it also breaks CC, makes you unstoppable. So this is what really makes the build feel really tanky. I use this on cooldown too. It also acts as an Earth spell, which synergizes with our Legendary. We have 1 point in Blood Howl, then we have Enhanced Blood Howl, and we have Innate Blood Howl. Now this is also nice because not only does it heal you, it gives us Spirit. And the one downside is that this build does require a lot of Spirit before you can start getting your lucky hits. So this is really nice. I find that when I'm healing, I'm also generating Spirit. We have 3 points in Nature's Reach here. We have 3 points in Elemental Exposure, 1 point in Charge Atmosphere, 3 points in Bad Omen, 1 point in Trample, Enhanced Trample, and Savage Trample. Petrify is our ultimate skill. We have Prime Petrify and Supreme Petrify. Now with this is so nice because when you use Petrify and you kill them, you generate 25 Spirit. So when you pop this ultimate, especially with a large mob, things just start dying, and you also just never run out of Spirit for this time, because when you start critting and things start dying, it's just this snowball effect. And that's where I find I do the most insane damage, is when I pop Petrify in a big old room and everything just starts dying. We have 3 in Defiance, 3 in Natural Disaster, 3 in Renaissance. Our ultimate skill here at the end is Earthen Might. Now this is super nice because once again we're looking for these lucky hits, and based on our legendary gear, this also applies to storm skills. And you can read here, we have this lucky hit chance increases on critical strikes and if the target is stunned, immobilized, or knocked back. So when we pop Petrify and we start critting when they're stunned and we're critting, this goes all the way up to 25% chance to lucky hit. And once again, it restores all your Spirit, and it causes your attacks to be guaranteed crits for 5 seconds. So as you can see, the snowball effect on this build is just absolutely crazy. Want to come to the gear here to kind of show you what we have. We have, and this gear is not optimized totally. This is just stuff that I found. I'm mainly looking for these legendary aspects. But as far as the rolls and all that, this is not nearly what an endgame build could look like. So in my build does insane damage without it being totally maxed out. But you have here on my helm, basic skills grant 20% damage reduction for 4 seconds. Really important to keep us tanky. This chest, this is going to be a throwaway. I just have here damaging elite grants you a barrier. That's not part of the core build. I'm actually going to be switching this out. Our gloves, Lightning Storm, critical strike, spawn 3 dancing bolts that seek enemies in an area, dealing 1500 damage. So once again, this build is really heavily predicated on critical strikes, and everything snowballs off these crits. So when you're guaranteed those crits from the lucky hit, all of a sudden you start throwing out these 3 dancing bolts to everything, and that's where mobs just start getting deleted. Earthen Bulwark, this is super important for tankiness, is increased by 6 seconds. In addition, killing an enemy with Earth skills replenishes 192 of your active barrier. So we are using Trample, which in combination with this legendary, which now summons 6 landslide pillars. So this is both Trample, Landslide, as well as Earth Spike. This really is nice for the tankiness. Our boots, while unstoppable, and for 4 seconds after, you gain 22% increased movement speed and can move through enemies. So once again, this gives us unstoppable, which synergizes with the boots, which just feels nice because you get some nice movement speed on top of it. We imprinted the staff, landslide, earth pillars, each strike a second time and deal an additional 18% damage. So once again, when we trample, and because we have this legendary, it spawns, 6 landslide pillars when we trample, and then they cast again. Super OP. Our next, which this is another really important legendary, the Earthen Might key passive also applies to your storm skills. So once again, going back to our abilities here, Earthen Might, this works for storm skills as well as earth skills. So it's just a combination of both. That's what really turns this build into something super broken. And then lastly here, we have casting a storm skill grants your earth skills 58.5% critical strike damage for 4 seconds. Casting an earth skill increases the critical strike chance of your storm skills by 15.6%. So everything in this build is increasing crit chance, increasing crit damage, and once you start critting, things start dying. I want to go here to Spirit Boons. We have here 10% reduced damage from elites. We have 2 of our boons here. The double is 5% increased crit strike chance, 30% crit strike damage, super important. Energized, lucky hit, dealing damage has up to 15% chance to restore 10 spirit. And then lastly here, nature magic skills have up to a 10% chance to reduce cooldown of your ultimate skill by 2 seconds. Once again, that ultimate is Petrify, stuns everything, guarantees, your critical strike damage is increased to 50%. So going one more time through the abilities, we have Earthen Bulwark for tankiness, Blood Howl for heal, as well as spirit generation. Once again, survivability. Trample. This summons all the landslides that cast twice, counts as an earth skill. This really does do a ton of damage in combination with everything. Petrify is our ultimate to stun everything. We're using Earth Spike as just a spirit generator, and it does have a chance to stun, which is nice, but mainly this is spirit generation as well as activating that legendary, which increases the crit strike chance of our Lightning Storm, which is our core ability of the build. So once again, this build is absolutely broken. All right, so we're in a Nightmare Dungeon. I want to showcase the build a little more and show you guys how I play it. One more time, we're using Earthen Bulwark as our main defense, and I like popping that as soon as I start seeing people because it does increase our mobility. So what I like to do here is wait till we can gather up a bunch of people. Here's a really good... So we're going to trample in, and we're going to hold right-click. As you can see, Lightning Storm just absolutely starts destroying. Now that we got elites, we're going to Petrify. We're going to hold our Lightning Storm. And once the lucky hits and the crits start coming, now what I like to do too, if I know that there's like one, you can see there's one elite there. So our build is really important to lucky hit. And I find that sometimes when you're fighting just one enemy, it can be harder because Lightning Storm casts in a group of enemies. So I like to try to group a lot together because it just gives us that extra chance to hit the lucky hit, and then that's when our damage starts coming online. And then I also like waiting for Trample to come up. That seems to do the most damage, like single target damage. Pop Petrify here. I mean, you just sit here, kick back and relax, and just know that everything's going to die in front of you. I'm going to find a group here. So once again, I like using Blood Howl too if I know that I'm low on Spirit, because we got the enhanced Blood Howl. Trample on cooldown. I mean, you can see this build is just an absolute blast, especially with the nerfs coming out for the pulverized build. This might be the build for you if you like lightning like I do, if you like casting, if you like standing and watching everything in the room just get absolutely deleted. It is so good, so much fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and have a great night.